day one was about acknowledging that everything that animates this universe is the feminine, it's the goddess, it's energy that we commonly refer to as Shakti. It is Shakti that animates all of creation. And the most intimate connection we have with this mother goddess, with Shakti, is our own body. That is the most intimate connection that we have. So the goddess energy that we pray to, the feminine form that we pray to, we revere, especially during the Navaratris, and all the attributes that we associate with her. Every one of us in a physical form is in fact holding Shakti within. So starting from the breath flowing in and out, to the heart beating, to the obvious movements of our limbs and all the external organs, everything that has movement, that has life, is indicative of the fact that there is Shakti present in us. This is the same, no difference whatsoever between the goddess that we pray to, the feminine forms that we pray to, and the Shakti that runs through us. So irrespective of gender, every one of us is Shakti itself. So that is the most intimate form, the most intimate experience of Shakti that all of us have. So all the voluntary actions, the involuntary actions, all the functions of all the organs that are happening within the body, everything is because of Shakti. It's indicative of the presence of Shakti. So we focused on that on day one. Yesterday we spoke about the form of the Tapasvini. So the story was, in the first day, we spoke about how Shakti, because Shiva, was so deeply engrossed in his cognitive identity, in expanding his consciousness at the cognitive level, Shakti felt unwelcome and she left Shiva. And it is so that is symbolically communicated through the story of Sati and how she immolated herself, Dakshayini, how she immolated herself and she chose to leave Shiva. So when she left the masculine went into a state of deep slumber, because the masculine cannot move without Shakti. Shiv cannot move without Shakti. Here we are using symbolic words. So Shiv went into a very deep slumber, experiencing complete shunyata, because without Shakti, there was only shunyata. So all of creation prays to Shiva, saying, you cannot plunge into shunyata, because then what will happen to all of creation? And Shiv responds saying, I cannot do anything, I cannot move. I have become inert because I don't have Shakti with me. So that whole story of how then Shakti is recalled and she comes back to decimate Chanda and Munda, that was the story we spoke about on day one. So Shakti in her purest form, pure Shakti is so powerful. It is so powerful that the first experience of Shakti can be extremely destructive, because that is the intensity, the magnitude of power, that it is destructive. So the moment she was recalled, she completely decimated Chanda and Munda and got the name Chamundi. That was the story of day one. Yesterday we spoke about the feminine goddess in the form of a Tapasvini. So now that she was called back into existence and brought back into creation, she needed to combine with the masculine, because Shakti, while it is vast, it is unbounded, it is limitless, it is eternal and abundant, it too is effective and not effective because all that it has is potential, unimaginable potential. But for any of that potential to manifest, it has to combine with the masculine. So yesterday we talked about how the goddess energy in the form of the tapasvini, where she goes into a state of deep, austere tapas to recall and reconnect with Shiva. That's the story of Parvati when she was Himavan's daughter. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, right? She was so yearning for Shiva. She was yearning for Shiva, so and she decided to do a tapas to reclaim him, to reconnect with him. That was the form that we spoke about yesterday, the tapasvini. So we did a little process saying also, where I invited you to consider what area in your life do you think you need to do that kind of tapas. What does tapas really mean in this context? Garner all the energies that are at my disposal. If every one of us, again, gender notwithstanding, every one of us who's alive itself means that Shakti is flowing into me. I am holding Shakti. I have embodied Shakti. Shakti is embodied in me. Then what would I need to, what is that in my life context that requires me to make sure that I consolidate all the Shakti in me and channel it to manifest in the direction of that context, whatever is the context that I have identified. So that is about the form of the tapasvini. Today we are going to build on that narrative. So when the tapasvini sat down and went into that deep, deep, deep state, meditative state, yearning to connect with the source that will guide her, that will enable her to connect to Shiva, it is said that she went all the way to the absolute source of existence, which is formless. It has no form. Nobody knows. There is no form that is attributed to the absolute source of all existence. So it's commonly referred to as a sun, as a source of pure light. It's commonly symbolized like that. However, what would happen, say, for example, if we were to ourselves go close to the sun, attempt to connect to the sun, and go close to the sun, we would be consumed. We would be reduced also to just pure Shakti, pure, the source of all existence. We'll just be consumed in that. It is not possible for matter, anything that is matter, to experience that level of power without losing itself. Very easily comparable to what would happen to me if I were to reach into the sun. There would be no me left there. I would just disappear into that energy. So a milder, softer phase of that source energy is the form that Shakti took. That is the form that Tapasvini could connect to because she had no interest. She was not interested in getting annihilated. She just wanted to connect to the source of energy. So the softer, milder form of that source energy is called Kushmanda. Kushmanda, which is the form of the goddess. This is the third form of the goddess that we are meeting today. Kushmanda is normally represented as the, nowadays in WhatsApp you have the smiley, you have the sun with a smile. So Kushmanda is often represented like that. And so it is a milder version, a softer version of that source, because that source is just too powerful for us to be able to connect to directly. Kushmanda is that form of that source energy, which is also feminine. Another way of calling the source energy is actually Kali. Kali is a source of all existence. She is considered to be the absolute source. Kushmanda is the milder, softer version that someone who is in a physical form can connect to. So that's the other form of the Devi that we are meeting today. Kushmanda represents unlimited energy, unlimited Shakti. Now, what is interesting, and all of this is leading up to how it makes a lot of meaning to our life in the here and now. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. And so I feel really good about being able to talk about it and share, because there's so much of depth and meaning to this entire process of these 9 days. Now, when I say pure Shakti, again, it is pure potential. Even Kushmanda is a phase, a form given to that source energy. The source energy is too intense for us to withstand when we are in a body. So Kushmanda is a slight step down where we are able to connect to her. She's given a form. She's given a form that we can connect to and invoke. But she too is pure potential. What does that mean? What does it mean when it is pure potential? It exists as potential, but it has not yet manifested. So if we were to correlate to our life here, when we connect to this form of the Devi, when we connect to Kushmanda, we what comes to my mind is we could invoke her to give me access to my full potential. And if I have a chosen field, a chosen area of life where I want this potential to manifest, the process of bringing into manifestation whatever I hold as my potential requires the masculine. While Shakti in her the feminine form is vast and boundless vitality, the process of manifestation requires the inclusion, the union with the masculine. So the way the narrative goes is, it is Kushmanda who further, so it's like several steps, several steps. First is Mahakali, the absolute source. Then Kushmanda is the more benign form of that source. But Kushmanda also is pure potential. So in order to become functional, that means when I have this potential, how do I convert that in the service of creation itself? When does that potential convert into something that is real, that is a part of creation itself? In order for that to happen, Kushmanda went through a further iteration. Mahakali went through a further iteration. I'm using very contemporary language. Hopefully, you're able to relate to what I'm saying. And she became Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, and Parvati. And in these three forms, she has combined with the masculine. So when she came down as Saraswati, Kushmanda is Saraswati who is in union with Brahma. Same Kushmanda is Mahalakshmi who is in union with Mahavishnu. The same Kushmanda is Parvati in union with Mahadeva. So this is the process in which the absolute source energy has gone through several iterations and become available to us as these three forms. So anything we wish to bring into manifestation, because as potential, we all have direct access to it. And when we invoke it, we will receive that potential. But then what? All of us may have fantastic ideas about what we can do, ideas for this world, ideas about what the good that we want to do in this world, ideas about what we want to do in our life. We may all be endowed with the most amazing possibilities, most amazing ideas, and to make that happen lies within us as potential. But for that potential to manifest, I have to combine with the masculine. So what does Saraswati in union with Brahma, what does that couple represent? It represents Ichha. So through them, she manifests as Ichha Shakti in Saraswati, Gyan Shakti in Mahalakshmi and Mahavishnu, and Kriya Shakti in Parvati and Mahadeva. So through these three forms, the Shakti that is pure potential, unbounded potential, becomes available in specific ways in which we can channel the Shakti. Energy, Shakti exists everywhere. But unless we combine with the masculine, we cannot convert that potential into bring that into creation, bring that into manifestation. So that is the story that we're going to focus on today. The journey of Mahakali through these various forms in the service of the creative process, in the service of all creation. So Brahma and Saraswati together are considered as the generative force. Lakshmi and Vishnu are considered as a preservative force. And Shiva and Parvati are considered as the transformative force. How do we relate to it? And what is the focus we can bring to how can we bring focus to our life, translate this understanding into something meaningful in our own context? Is what we will explore today. Mahakali is pure potential. Kushmanda is the benign form of the potential. So if we are clueless, if we are lost, if we are looking for direction, if we are looking for meaning, we may want to connect to Kushmanda and say, make me aware of the potential I am capable of holding. Or I am already holding, but I'm unaware of it. What is it that I'm carrying in me as potential? May I be able to see it? And if I believe that there is potential, then may I be able to make it more tangible? Then we connect to Brahma and Saraswati to invoke Ichha Shakti. May this Ichha grow in me. May the aspiration of what I can be, of how I can be of service in the context of my own life and in a larger context. Please give me access to that. May I get in touch with my Ichha, true Ichha, which is from deep within me. Ichha is not equal to desire. I think I spoke about it already. I'm just repeating it. It is not something that I'm attracted to through my sensory organs. Ichha is something which I'm holding deep down as a potential. So by invoking Brahma and Saraswati, what we are saying is, get me in touch with that potential that I'm carrying. Because when I connect to that as a Shakti, and what is the symbolism of Brahma? Brahma is considered to be the creator. He is given form to the potential. Brahma symbolizes giving form to whatever was until then a potential. So we invoke the duo, Saraswati and Brahma, to get us in touch with that which is lying within me in potential, to which I wish to give form. What does it mean in our context, at our level? What does it mean to combine with the masculine? I mentioned it yesterday, I'm repeating it again today. Masculine represents the boundary that holds the potential, the form that is a manifestation of the potential. Masculine represents structure. Masculine represents actions that I need to take, the structure that I need to comply with. So when Shakti is flowing as pure energy, holding it and giving it a structure, giving it a direction until it manifests and shows up in this world, that process and the way that it shows up in this world, that is a result of combining with the masculine. So what is my Ichha? And I invoke Lord Brahma along with Saraswati to say, help me bring that into existence. Help me give it that form. What is the next form of Shakti? Mahalakshmi and Vishnu, who represent Gyan Shakti. If I have to maintain and preserve and sustain that which I have created, that which I have Ichha for, what is the right kind of knowledge I need to preserve it? Gyan Shakti is associated with Mahavishnu and Mahalakshmi. And Kriya Shakti is when I need to transform. What in me needs to be transformed? What of me needs to die? And what new form needs to emerge, which would be in alignment with my Ichha. So we invoke the Trinity in order to be able to express Shakti who resides in each one of us, in order to give expression to the Shakti that resides in each one of us, to give expression to it, to manifest it in the service of the self, for sure, but also in the service of the context. So today, what I would like to offer you is this idea. I'll take you through a process. It is perfectly okay if you do not know even the first step of this process. That's exactly why we invoke these three forms of Shakti. I don't know, I'm clueless, I'm directionless in my life. Please tell me, what is it that I'm carrying in as potential in me? We connect to Saraswati. What parts of me needs to change? What kind of transformation do I need to go through in order to bring this potential into manifestation? I connect to Shiva and Parvati. What is the kind of knowledge I need in order to enable this entire process? I connect to Lakshmi and Vishnu. In our tradition, there are a lot of prayers, there are a lot of shlokas, there are a lot of mantras, which which are a part of such processes of such invocation. But unfortunately, in today's times, including myself, not all of us may have access or may have that background that is required to know what to specifically to do in terms of chants and mantras and shlokas. I believe that Icha is there when Shakti is there. All we and Shakti is me. Every cell in my body is carrying Shakti, alive, real, and alive and present. So my offering to you, my invitation to you is to connect to that potential and hold the intention that you wish to bring it into manifestation. So the potential in me that is filling every cell in my body as energy, as Shakti, carrying whatever is my potential for this lifetime. The idea that I'm connecting to it, I know this is me. I accept that me in this human form is Shakti and Shiv incarnate. Shakti and Shiv broadly symbolizing the masculine and the feminine. So the fact that I have a form in itself represents that part of me which is masculine. And everything that lies hidden, unmanifest in me as potential is representative of Shakti in me. So all we need to do is to understand that this is who we are, this is our identity, and mobilize that which is already embodied in us. And it's perfectly okay for us to make it up as we go along in terms of how am I going to invoke, what am I going to do, what is my practice, what is my prayer. All of that will start to fall in place when you trust this fundamental identity of who you are. In your very presence, you have embodied Shiv and Shakti, and you are present here in this world. If these two forces had not come together, you and I would not be here in this world. So, as they say, the proof is in the pudding. The fact that we are here in each one of us, we already carry this potent combination of Shakti and the masculine. The invitation here is, can we make this meaningful? Can we bring this potential into existence? So for those of us who don't have clarity on what is the Icha, what is the potential that I'm carrying that would be meaningful for me, then we connect to Saraswati and Brahma, symbolic, okay? You don't have to really connect to that specific name or form. These names and forms have been given, these identities have been given just so that we are able to clearly understand how it is distributed in creation, in existence. So those of us who don't have clarity on what is the potential that we are carrying, we connect and invoke these energies to get us in touch with our Icha. What is my Icha? Icha really means what is it that my soul and my Shakti will just flow into spontaneously. What is that which I wish to flow into and bring into existence? So we ask for direction, we ask for that to be revealed to us. If we have Icha, we have some sense of what is our aspiration, but we are struggling with manifestation. Then we invoke the masculine form to combine with our feminine and help us to bring that into manifestation. What is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to do so that I can bring about this union of my aspiration with my ability to convert that into manifest, with my ability to manifest. Is there something that needs to leave me? Is there something in me that needs to die? Is there something new that needs to be born in me so that I'm able to do it? I don't know. I'm clueless. Then I invoke Mahadeva and Parvati saying, help me, stay with me, help me transform. Go through this self transformative process so that my aspirations can manifest. So, this is the offering for today. I will lead you through a short process where step by step I will guide you. And hopefully, as I guide you, you are able to apply it to a specific area in your context, something specific in your own context where you would like to channel this process, where you would like to use this process. So I invite you all to take a moment and sense into yourself. What do you connect to as an aspiration? It doesn't have to be, again, larger than life kind of an aspiration. What is it in your context today that you can relate to, where you wish to make an impact, where you wish to bring into existence something new, something different? Take a moment to identify which area of your life would you like to focus on to experiment with this process. Is it health? Is it your finances? Is it your profession, career, relationships? Your gifts, a special gift that you carry as potential? Identify an area of your life where you would like to work through this process. If you do not have clarity on what it is that you hold in you as a potential, if you do not have clarity, then that in itself is an area that you could begin with. Now, I would like all of you to sit back comfortably, close your eyes, and as always, please take your attention to your breath. Observe the movement of the breath, the movement of Shakti the feminine principle. With every inhale and exhale, choose one specific part of your body where you are able to observe the breath, either the tip of your nostrils or the chest or the abdomen, where the movement of the body is easy to observe for you. As you're observing your breath, bring to your awareness the smooth, almost effortless, harmonious syncing of the body and the breath. They're so beautifully in sync that as the breath flows in, there is a certain kind of movement. And as the breath flows out, there is a different kind of movement. As you observe closely. As you observe this, connect to the idea that this synchronized movement of breath and body is the cosmic dance of Shiva and Shakti. As the breath flows beautifully, effortlessly into your body, the body moves in sync with the breath. I invite you to creatively visualize, imagine it, that through the simple act of breathing, the Shiva and Shakti in each one of us is engaged in this cosmic dance, perfect harmony. The form obligingly, effortlessly, harmoniously synchronizing its movement as Shakti moves through our body. As you stay with this idea, allow this awareness to flow out from your heart center, the awareness of you as an embodiment of Shiva and Shakti engaged in a cosmic dance. As long as they continue to dance in unison, you continue to exist. You as you continue to exist. Allow this awareness to spread through the entire length of your body. Become aware of every cell in your body. Every single cell in your body. In the same moment. Within each cell, Shiva and Shakti come together to hold a form and infuse it with an energy that performs a certain act so that a cell can be a cell. It can retain a form while performing a function using the Shakti it contains. So every cell in your body is in sync, performing this cosmic dance. Allow this idea to flow into every corner of your body. Visualize it, imagine it, if possible, experience it. Experience this cosmic dance happening in every cell in your body, even as you breathe in and breathe out. If I am an embodiment of Shakti and Shiva myself, what is the potential that I can manifest? What is the potential that I can bring into manifestation? Hold this question as you shift your focus now to the source of your breath. The source of your breath being Kushmanda. Goddess Kushmanda, the source of potential, the source of energy, the benign source of all energy. Visualize or imagine every breath emanating from her, from that source, just a bright source of light, benign light, carrying compassion, along with power and wisdom. With every inhale, the energy from that source is pouring into you. Where you represent the combination of the feminine and the masculine. With every inhale, experience your entire being coming alive, energized. That is the infinite, abundant source that flows into each one of us as prana and sustains our physical manifested selves on this planet. Connect to the idea of Brahma and Saraswati who would bring you in touch with your potential. Hold this question: what am I carrying in me as potential that can be expressed, manifested by me in my context? Trust that you will receive a response the moment that we acknowledge the self as this cosmic couple of the masculine and the feminine engaged in a cosmic dance just through the act of staying alive. Each one of us is already engaged in this cosmic dance between the masculine and the feminine parts of the self. The moment we acknowledge it, the moment we recognize it, we are already ready, we are already prepared to connect to our highest potential, our ichha. So trust that you will receive this clarity if you don't already have it. What is that which will come into creation, into manifestation through me? In my context, be it family, be it career, workplace, I offer you now the second question. What is the kind of knowledge that I need that will help me with this process of manifestation of my ichha, of my aspiration? What is the right kind of knowledge? Every breath is a communication between who you are here and that divine source, Kushmanda Devi herself. Every question that you hold in your mind, trust you will receive a response from this source. What is the kind of knowledge I will need to enable me to manifest? Let us now move to the third question. What in me has to transform? What in me has to die and be reborn in a new form so that I am able to manifest my aspiration as we connect to Kushmanda Devi and ask these questions. Trust that the responses will reach you through the simple practice of conscious breathing. The tapas that we can commit to is that I will continue to keep these questions alive. I will continue to reach out to this absolute source of all existence and seek guidance. I commit to this process. I commit to this process knowing that I will channel both my masculine and feminine energies in the service of this quest. I will channel all the energies at my disposal. I will bring structure and discipline in my behavior, in my actions. I will hold the required boundaries. I will hold these energies so that with the guidance that I receive, I will successfully bring into existence, I will successfully manifest that which I aspire for in my personal context. Let us take a few minutes now to extend the understanding that we hold today with the whole of humanity. May all of mankind, all of humankind, be able to connect to their aspiration, to connect to the right knowledge that will inform their aspiration. May all of humankind be willing to go through the fire of transformation so that we collectively create the kind of world that is aligned with our collective aspiration. Let this be a blessing that we share with the world at large. An aspiration informed by higher knowledge and wisdom, and the willingness to transform in order to bring that aspiration into existence. In our personal context and for the world at large. May all of us be able to connect to this prayer for ourselves and for the world. Thank you for joining me today. I recommend that all of you please do go through this process at your own pace, in your own time. May we all be blessed by Kushmanda Devi. Thank you all for joining me today.